Number 8 in our post-spring Big 12 power rankings, the TCU Horned Frogs. Obviously, bringing back another experienced quarterback and Josh Hoover. But I actually kind of liked Kansas and Lance Leipold a little better. So tell me, what is it about TCU that had them landing at the number 8 spot over teams like Kansas or Colorado or West Virginia, Oklahoma State, any of those?
Yeah, I mean, Kansas lost some. Obviously, Colorado too. I mean, Colorado's production that they
Yeah.
lost was, ridiculous. Kansas, same thing. I mean, I know they got Jalen Daniels coming back, but like they lost Neal, the running back. They lost like quite a bit of production that they had. Some of their best players and overall skill players in general were gone. TCU for me, man, was there a team that had a quieter 9 wins in college football last year than TCU?
Yeah, I mean, they're 3 years removed from that national championship game that
Yeah.
everybody remembers, and obviously the year after that wasn't as great, and then like last year, like you mentioned, yeah, just flying under the radar, middle of the pack in the Big 12, but winning 9 games, and hoping they can improve on that in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, and they've got like solid. They've got talent. They're one of your more talented
Mhm.
teams in the Big 12 because they recruit well there and they do solid through the transfer portal. And they've got one of the best offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator combos in the conference in Kendall Briles and Andy Avalos.
Yeah.
Avalos' first year as the defensive coordinator at TCU was last year. They were kind of middle of the road. They were better than they were the previous year defensively. But I would expect a little bit of year 2. We were talking about Blake Baker at LSU. We're talking about some of these other programs that it's year 2 for a coordinator. That's usually when you see a little bit of a jump because that first year you're installing your system, you're installing your communications, players aren't used to what you're doing there. Then that second year, normally, if you're going to be around and you're a good coordinator, then you see a jump there in year 2. Kendall Briles back as OC, but they were really good last year. They were top 5 in the Big 12 in scoring offense and total offense, but they took a little bit dip back in running the football last year. They've got to get better at running the football. Usually Kendall Briles' offense run the football well. But, I mean, just like we said about Sawyer Robertson. Hey, real quick, look at the bottom of this screen and hit that subscribe button for us, please. And also follow us on Apple and Spotify. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps us out a ton. We greatly appreciate it. Josh Hoover is one of those that, again, the casual fan won't sit around and talk about some of the best returning quarterback. We see a lot of these top 10 lists coming out with top 10 quarterbacks returning in college football. As far as returning production is concerned, Josh Hoover led all quarterbacks in the Big 12 last year with 3,900 yards passing. That's what's returning. He's got to cut down on his interception, though. He threw 11 picks. TCU in general last year had 22 total turnovers. That was like 107th in the country. And they still went 9-4. So what if they cut down? What if they cut down on some of those turnovers? It probably would predict to more wins. And again, I know we're not looking at schedules when we're power ranking, but obviously we take a little bit of a peek at them, But like none of these rankings, by the way, these power rankings, not a single one of them, correct? You're not ranking any of these based off a schedule, right?
No.
Me either, not even a little bit. But looking at their schedule, dude, listen to this. At Arizona State, at BYU, at Kansas State, at a much improved Willie Fritz Houston squad. And then they also play Baylor and Iowa State. They get them both at home.
In North Carolina to open up the season.
And they get Bill Belichick in North Carolina to open up the season. Dude, how wild is it that when I saw that TCU was playing them, I cracked up because my mind immediately went to they were the team that opened up with Coach Prime and Dion's first ever game at Colorado on national TV when 8 zillion people watched that game, and I think Colorado just scored another touchdown.
Yep.
And now they're going to open up where everybody in the world is going to be watching against Belichick in North Carolina. And isn't that game on like Labor Day night?
No, it's their. Oh wait, you're right. It is on Monday night. Yeah,
it's a standard
game. ESPN.
That game is going to be watched by so many people.
Yeah,
and I got a feeling that after that game, a lot of people are going to be talking about Josh Hoover. Now, hopefully it's not because he's throwing so many interceptions like he did last year, but it could be. But TCU is going to be good on offense as long as Kendall Briles is the OC there. Returning Josh Hoover, I love that. They went 9-4 last year. 2 of their losses, one was by 1 point, and another was by 3 points. The 1 point loss, they had a massive lead on UCF early in the season. I believe KJ Jefferson was still the QB for UCF. It was early in the year.
That was one of the games he actually cared about playing, apparently.
Yeah, for real. But TCU had a huge lead, and I don't know how the hell. Like, it's one of those that you got to work at it to blow it. But they blew that lead. They returned 8 starters on defense, by the way. Again, some of that may be good, some of that may be bad, but I think year 2 in Avalos' system, I think that could be a big deal. I like what they did as well, adding some pieces in the transfer portal. Everybody's adding pieces in the transfer portal, but they added a wide receiver in Jordan Dwyer from Idaho. They had over 1,100 yards receiving and 12 touchdowns last year. So I will say this is the only team, and because I'm saying this, they'll end up winning the Big 12. But this is the first team that we've got to on our top 8 teams here listed in power ranking 1 through 8 in the Big 12 that I would be surprised if they won the Big 12 or made the Big 12 championship. So Frog fans that are listening to this, you can thank me later. I just helped you out. You're probably going to be in the Big 12 championship game now that I said that.